so we thought, so, so, yeah, so we went to the pond and started searching all over the turtle, but we couldn't find it. And then we did end up finding it like a few months later, but only one. I think it was dead. But, oh wait, no. We think we found it, but that's because there was like this old lady named Alavera or something, Miss Alavera or something, and she would always bring us like unusual foods like snake eggs and a possum and turtle and stuff like that. And she would always bring us the food, and it was so good though, guys. She just always ate those kind of animals. But yeah, they were so good. So when she brought us a turtle, it was probably our turtle. So yeah, there wasn't any turtles in Belize, but there were turtles. There were like ponds, and one time in our third house, next door neighbors, there was a big tortoise, like the biggest turtle I've ever seen in my life. And we're like, Trinity's favorite animal was turtles at the time, and they eat turtles in Belize, and they also eat bunnies. Ms. Olivera always ate bunnies. She was like, oh, where'd you get that turtle from? They're like, oh, that pond over there. She's like, oh, whoa. And then she sees them ripping off the shell and cutting it open. She's like, no, stop. And she's like breaking up the fence. She's like, no, stop eating that turtle. And they weren't listening. I think they were just ignoring her. I was like, Trinity, it's fine. You can get more turtles. She's like, it's a turtle. Stop. It's my baby. So yeah, she was pretty disappointed. But yeah, there were Mennonites in Belize, and they were like kind of like Amish, but they were Mennonites, called Mennonites in Belize. And they had Mennonite churches and stuff. And we'd usually go to the Mennonite churches, but mostly we'd go to the church the orphanage kids went to, which is actually a church just for the orphanage kids. Sorry, my cousin was texting me, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we would go to the orphanage's church, and it was pretty fun. They would dance and sing and stuff, but the Mennonite church was so boring, because who has kids' classes before church? That's like the stupidest thing ever. So that was pretty much a waste of time, but we hated sitting in service, because what kind of kid, like 3, 4, and 6, and 1, would want to sit in service, listen to boring pastors and boring music every Sunday? Yeah, not me. So we hated the Mennonite church. Our favorite church was probably the Spanish Lookout Church, where all the Belizeans were, because they had class during church, and it was really fun. They did really fun crafts and stuff, and until one day, we were playing soccer, which they call football in Belize, and soccer is supposed to be a ball you kick with your feet, wearing tennis shoes and soft, flat ground, and not on rocks, wearing flip-flops. Well, that's exactly where we played it, on rocks, and everyone was wearing flip-flops. And I cut my foot on a sharp rock and cut it open. And you probably can't see it, but I got stitches. I had to get stitches right here. You probably can see it a little bit. And this I also got, I forget what it's called, but like it was just a scratch, and then it started puffing up, and that was just like a bunch of skin there. And then I also had a scratch all the way up my leg, like that. And yeah, the hospitals there are free. You get everything done for you for free. But like if you did have to pay, but like getting stitches, the guy actually went to that church. So I don't think that was the reason he gave us free though. She like getting stuff like that done is actually free and stuff like that. Please, everything, the hospitals and everything are free, I think. But the American hospitals, those are worth money. So so the hospitals that actually do charge you money are like really cheap, like $20. Like to have like a baby or something in the hospital, that would only be like $20. So yeah, I'm not sure, but my parents said it was really cheap, like about that much. But that's only for the stuff that you get charged for, which is like nothing. Everything else is pretty much free. So everything there was really cheap. Like oh yeah, and they had like in our first house that we lived in, they had like people coming by. Everyone was really nice, and they would have like these two kids that'd come by every morning, and they'd sell sweet bread, and it was so good. It was warm and so good. And we'd always buy. My mom would buy each of us a sweet bread, and yeah, and then every morning there was a guy that rode on his horse around the neighborhood saying the Spanish word for good morning. I'm so bad at Spanish. I used to know how to speak Spanish, but now I completely forgot it. And he'd be like, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone, good morning, riding on his horse, saying it in Spanish. And I think I don't know what that is. And then like on holidays, he'd be like, Merry Christmas, everybody, or Happy Easter or something in Spanish. And yeah. And then there'd be the garbage truck guy, and he would take everyone's garbage, but we'd have to pay him. And he had like a rugged old pickup truck, and we'd have to pay him like, I think like everyone had to pay him like 25 cents, I think, or something. It was like $1, maybe $2 or something. But we'd always give him so much more because being a garbage man is the last thing you would want to be in Belize, because the fire ants all over the garbage. You are like, the garbage is covered in fire ants. You can't even see the garbage. It's just all fire ants. And he has to pick it up bare hands, barefoot, whatever. And he's like covered in fire ants. And have you ever got bitten by a fire ant? They're like little ants like the size of black ants, but they're red. And they bite hard. They sting so hard. Just one, you feel like you're dead. You're dying. Just one small bite of a fire ant. Like I think they're harmless. They I don't like, it doesn't kill you. They're like, you just get like, like it looks like a mosquito bite, but like I don't think they're poisonous. They're not poisonous. They're like completely fine, but it hurts. It's just a bite. But it hurts. But he was completely fine with it. I think he was immune to it. He definitely was, because he was covered in fire ants. And we're like, oh my gosh, how are you handling that? And he's like, what? And we're like, there's fire ants all over you. And he's like, oh, those? Whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we paid him a lot more because he was covered in fire ants. And what? Okay, hold on, CJ. I know, it's like almost an hour long. What? Yeah, they are. No, it's not. And, okay, so, yeah. And, so, the bakeries there were horrible. The bakeries there were so disgusting. The bread and all the bread there was so dry and stale. And it was so dry and stale, and it was disgusting, and the frosting was disgusting. It was so disgusting. And when we made our brownies for like, we'd make like a chocolate cake for each birthday at the orphanage, and I think there was about 81 kids at the orphanage, and but they got more like every month. They got like another one or two more, and so we would make them chocolate cake, and they tasted it and they loved it. I mean, I would too after living on disgusting Belizean bread. It was disgusting. But yeah, they loved it, and they would always lie and say, "Oh, we have 3 birthdays a year. Oh, it's my birthday again today." And they would always lie, "It's my birthday. Can you please make me a cake?" So yeah, we didn't listen to them. But when we were 100% sure that it was their birthday, we would make them a cake because we didn't have time to make. Because we didn't have an oven. I don't think we did. I don't think we had an oven. We had to use a sun ray machine thingy, and it's like this big box that has like glass on it, and you'd put the food that you want to cook in there, and then the sun would hit it and it would bake it. So we used that, and my mom would bake banana bread every day, and I can't even stand the word banana bread anymore because I'm so sick of it, because we eat banana bread every day, and I mean, it tastes good, but like, it tastes good, but I'm just so sick of it. My cousin wrote me. Yeah, so before you guys go to Belize, definitely watch this video. And, what else? So the orphanage kids were pretty nice and all, but, like, okay, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but they were so gross. Like, their hands were so dirty, and they'd always be, like, touching us and stuff. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I love your skin. Oh, I wish I had your eyes." And they were just always touching. Ugh. And I'm not racist or anything. It was just gross for me. I just don't like to get touched by people. Ugh. Especially because they were so dirty. And yeah, so they had an accent that was they had like Creole, and it would be pretty. They were like wouldn't finish their words, but you can understand them, and it would be like Spanish people trying to say English, and that's pretty much what it was. Spanish people trying to talk English for like the first time. It would be Creole, like you know want to play, so that would be you know want to play, which meant do you want to play, or like, you know want water, or do you want water? And yeah, so I didn't speak Spanish so much, but I spoke perfect Creole, because that's all I ever heard was Creole. And my little sister Hope, she was 1 or 2. She was 1 or 2 or something. I think she was. We moved there when she was 1, and then she turned 2 and maybe 3 there. And her first language was Spanish, and she didn't know how to speak English. And she was always speaking Spanish. We were like, what is she saying? And she'd be speaking Spanish, and then the Belizeans would be like, "Oh, she's saying blah, 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 blah." And we're like, what? How come we can't speak Spanish and she can? So Hope's first language was Spanish, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, so she'd be like, her first word was agua, or something like that. First word was agua, which meant which is water in Spanish. She's like, agua. Yeah. So most of her words were Spanish, but some of them were English, like mama and dada. But that's also like Spanish people also say that. Yeah, so what else? We had, so our thief, he would give us his horse to eat all our long grass. And we had so much of it to cut, like a whole bunch of property. And yeah, long grass. So he'd send his horse over, and it would eat our grass. And it would be there like almost every day. And one time we tried to ride on the horse, and my mom was putting she was putting me on the horse, and the horse got scared and it went crazy, and Trinity, being stupid as always, was behind the horse, and it kicked her into the thorns, and I fell off because it went crazy and then it ran away. Yeah, so, yeah, a few times before that happened, we were able to ride on it safely, but it definitely wasn't a horse used to being ride on it, or we were just riding it wrong. We had some sheep that were, we had some sheep, they were goats. No, I don't know. I think we had some sheep and some goats that our thieves sold to us, and then like a month later, he stole them back, and then sold them somewhere else and probably stole them back. So we had some sheep, and they had babies, and they were stolen except for some. They were all stolen. The mother was sick that had the babies, and she couldn't feed them milk, so we had to give them milk. One of the babies died, or it was stolen, I forget. And then another baby was getting sicker and sicker, and we always had it in our baby stroller, and it slept with my mom. Okay, here's the story. Whenever we have a sick animal or something, my mom will sleep with it and make sure it's fine for until it's fine. Like, she'll sleep with it all night and stay with it all night and make sure it's fine. That's how much she loves animals. So that's what she was doing for the baby lamb. And it would sleep in the stroller, and she would feed it the baby bottle. And she's in the office, CJ. And yeah. And then one day, after like a week or two later, it made the last few kicks, and it was dead. Ouch. Felt like a fire ant just bit me. But they don't have fire ants in Ohio, thank God. Those are the one things I don't miss about Belize. I mean, yeah. They had, the ocean had perfectly clear water. The palm trees, we'd always drink out of coconuts, and they had these like little berries that you could pick up the trees, and they were pretty popular in Belize. They're called I forget what they're called, but they were pretty good. My sister Hope, she was like 3, she loved those. Her and our last made son, Trayson, they would go out there every day. Sorry, I have a stuffy nose. I hate about Ohio because I've never had stuffy nose and bleed. So they'd go out there every day and collect all those berries and stuff. They'd collect them off the ground and pick them off the trees and stuff. And yeah, they just lived on those. Hope never ate them though. She just keep them in her hand until they're smushed and stuff. And yeah, but she'd eat them sometimes when she wanted to. We were like, Hope, please, can we have some? Because there was no more berries because we ate them all off the trees, and we had to wait forever for one to grow. And we're like, Hope, please, can we have one? She's like, no. And she had 15 of them in her hand. And we're like, you're never going to eat them. She's like, I don't care. I want them for myself. In Spanish. And, so, yeah. So, I know there was more to Belize, but I don't really remember it. There is actually a video on YouTube of me riding the four-wheeler when I was about 6 or 7. And I was driving the four-wheeler with all my siblings on it. I almost crashed into a tree. You'll probably see that in a video, but it's not very noticeable. We're just kind of riding in a circle on our property. We had a playground and a trampoline in the backyard. It was pretty fun. We played with our thieves' sons and daughters. Our thief worked for my dad. I know. So one time we made a plan to we thought maybe the thief would come, but if he didn't know that there was someone there, we snuck our maid over and to stay there while we went somewhere out for family night or something. And they stayed there, and they wanted to see if the thief would come, but I don't think he did. Yeah, so one time we had the police come over, and they were waiting for the thief to come, Mr. Adam, and my dad had a gun that he wanted to shoot him with, but like not like to kill him, but like shoot him in like the legs or something, or like shoot it in the air to scare him away. And my dad had to leave for a second, so he gave me the gun, and it was like one of those big like one of those big long guns, you know, like the big long guns. And I had to sit on a stool, and it was pointing out the window, and the lights were off, and he's like, as soon as you see like a black figure coming up the driveway, shoot, but don't shoot at him, shoot in the air. So he left, and I had the gun, and then I saw like a black figure coming in up the driveway, and I shot in the air, and then that figure plunged into the bushes and disappeared, and and then yeah, that was us at night. He stole from us a few times, like my dad's chainsaw and other stuff. But yeah, there's more to this story, but if you want me to say a part 2, it's already about to be an hour and just a few seconds. 7, 8, 9. Okay, guys, I got it right there. It was just an hour. Wow, I've been telling the story for a whole hour. But if you want me to do a part 2 on this, write in the comments, and definitely watch this video before you go to Belize, because if you want to know more, I will be happy to tell you more. I remember a lot. There was tons of fire ants and other army ants and leaf ants coming in the house at night. Bats, snakes, anything you can think of. If you like zip lining, cave tubing, if you like animals, mosquitoes, getting bit, and tropical weather, Belize is definitely the place to go if you like nice people and everything like that. So definitely watch this video before you go to Belize, and I hope you like my video. Please like and subscribe. Write in the comments what you like, what you think you'd like about Belize, or what video you want me to do, or if you want me to write part 2. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you on my next video. Mwah!